there, everybody. Today we're going to be making my extra crispy oven-baked buffalo chicken wings. When I tell you these wings are so easy to make, so amazing, extra crispy, and so affordable, everybody at your party is going to love it. Whether it be your Christmas party or New Year's Eve, or hey, just hanging out for the game, you are going to love this. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to be getting started with making our wings. I've already set out 1.5 pounds of our party wings. I've let them be in a strainer because these were originally frozen. These were the Walmart brand, and I wanted them to drain out a bit. We're going to take a wing and we're going to dry that amount even more with paper towels. We want to get them as dry as possible because this is really going to help them to crisp up in the oven. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do this to all of our wings. I'm going to dry them all up. And now that we're all done drying our wings, we're going to go ahead and add my seasoning mixture. And I'm going to go ahead and link all of the seasonings and their measurements into the description box just to save time. I know nobody's trying to watch me mix together a bunch of seasonings for a minute. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sprinkle this all over our wings, and then we're going to mix them in. We want to make sure that we've got them coated really well. Now, in this seasoning that I'm using, I actually use cornstarch, and that's going to be the secret ingredient to really creating a nice, crispy wing. That cornstarch really dries out the wing without... Well, I normally use the word dry out. They're flavorful and juicy. I mean that it's going to crisp up your wing without using any oil. So if you're health conscious in that aspect, this is definitely going to be the recipe for you. Now that we have gotten our wings all nice and coated, we are going to go ahead and we are going to add them to our baking sheet. Now, with my baking sheet, what I've done is I've lined it with tin foil and I've put a cookie rack on top of it, so that way it really is going to be able to crisp up, because we're going to get that nice air that's going to actually be going underneath and through. It's going to rotate all around our wings, and it's going to make sure it's cooked nice and evenly. You don't have to use a cookie sheet that's lined. You don't have to use the rack to lift it up, but I strongly recommend and prefer that you do. It will definitely make for a much crispier and nicer, aesthetically pleasing chicken wing. And we want to make sure that we don't overcrowd as well. But I want to be able to get a good amount on here. So we just want to make sure they're not fully touching, but they can be pretty close. They're friends. That's a big old juicy wing. That's a King Kong wing. Look at that. It's a big boy. Or girl. We don't know. And voila. Beautiful. Now that we're done getting our wings all nice and coated, we're going to go ahead and place these in a preheated oven at 425 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to flip them. I'm going to come back and show you how they're looking halfway through. All right, guys, let's go. All right, and we're back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take our wings out of the oven, and we're going to flip them over. We're doing this so that way they can get nice and crispy on both sides. Once we're done flipping all of our wings, we're going to go ahead and put it back in the oven, and we're going to cook it for another 30 minutes. We're going to take it out for the final time, and we're going to flip them, and we're going to go ahead and start on our wonderful buffalo sauce. And we're back. Now we're going to be making our buffalo sauce. I'm going to be making it kind of mild because I don't like a lot of spicy, but you can definitely adapt this to your heat level. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a 1/2 cup of butter to our pot. We're going to go ahead and melt that down. Once it's completely melted, we're going to be adding in our Frank's RedHot sauce. We're going to be adding this into liking. I measure in love when it comes to this, so I'd say maybe let's start with a half a cup. And now that we have our butter melted all the way down, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our Frank's RedHot sauce. Like I said, we're going to start with about a half a cup. Feeling like we need a little bit more, we're going to go about a cup. It smells so good. Mix that all up together. I'm just going to go ahead and let that simmer a little bit just so that the butter and the Frank's RedHot can just kind of come together. Once we've done that, we are going to turn off our heat, and we did this on medium. All right, now that we have our sauce all made, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour this all over top of our sauce, all over top of our wings. Look at that. And go ahead and we're going to toss the wings in our buffalo sauce. Make sure they're nice and fully coated. And there you have it. We have our delicious, crispy, baked buffalo wings. They were so easy, so quick to make, and I cannot wait to dig into these. It is already lunchtime and I'm ready to eat. So let's try one out. Look at that. That crispy skin, still nice and juicy on the inside, wonderfully flavorful. And then just the perfect amount of spice. Like I said, you can definitely make these as spicy as you want to or as mild as you like to. If you want to go more mild, I would say use less RedHot and more butter to give it that wonderful taste. I gotta take another bite. These are great. You let me know what you think in the comments. Would you rather have homemade fried or would you rather have them baked? Let me know. Okay, everybody. Bye.